when you could have just turned up to your 5 labs and earned the results that way. Yeah. They took the hard road.
Exactly. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? You need to reap what you sow, and that is what HEIST are going to be doing. Bust is taking a leaf out of Nellory's book here and going to be looking for the Fire Strike to start off the...
well, that didn't work, but it was worth a try, Bust. Maybe next time.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because he still gets the Fire Strike up before he's going to need to use it once again.
Oh, well. Never mind. Well, Breakaway going to push out here on attack. They're straight into it. 4 goes down immediately.
Just great focus.
Oh, man. He just literally drops the shield, throws out the hammer, and falls to the ground.
No, I think he was just stunned up there by Duboy with the shield bash. As soon as that comes across, the Discord Orb is on, and he gets deleted. It's like the HEIST are all working in unison. They don't even need to talk. They're like an ant colony that knows exactly what's going on.
They don't even need to talk?
Yeah. It's like as soon as Duboy presses right click, left click, everyone presses W and holds left click, and then 4 dies.
Right.
Just press W.
Just press W. Just click heads. Looking for a Fire Strike, a little bit more successful, maybe.
You don't really click heads with this team comp.
No.
Unless you're a Zenyatta.
Yeah, well, Zen definitely clicks heads, mates. Up to 80% now. Bus almost ready for the Earth Shatter that's about to come out. If he stays alive, he will for now. But this is a little bit of a better push up until the point that 4 goes down. Well, throws out an Earth Shatter there to clean up the rest of Breakaway. Instead of the Breakaway players getting away, they just instead fall to the ground and feed across ultimate charge to the rest of the team. Therefore, HEIST, and now they're looking very strong.
Yep, and Locust has had a great time charging the Graviton Surge up as well, so in the next fight we should see another ult rotation out from HEIST, which will be the Graviton Surge self-destruct combo, which again will give time for Bust to build his ult up. And this is looking really solid for HEIST right now on the defense.
Well, there's the grab you're talking about.
Oh!
Self-destruct comes through, won't find anyone.
Was a good
counter
charge.
Grab, nothing to follow it up with though. Does, though, mean that Dowsu's going to pop the trance. Shadow came out from Bust. Dowsu's the one getting the frags though. Talking about clicking heads, Jordan. Look at this.
Yeah. It was a bit of a backwards and forwards fight, so I guess it's kind of warranted for Bust to throw the Earth Shatter in there. They will have to back away here, but a lot used by HEIST, maybe more than they would have liked to, especially considering Breakaway now have the ult economy advantage. We're seeing the 2 support ultimates now for them, and just the 1 for HEIST, not to mention Earth Shatter for 4 is nearly up.
This is the fight they surely win.
This is the fight, if any, that Breakaway is going to be able to get through.
Soundbarrier going to come out on attack. They're going to try and push through, but 4 stuck behind the rest of the team right now, taking a little bit of time to get there. Throws out the Earth Shatter. That's a good one. Self-destruct comes through as well. Probably doesn't even need it, but will clean them up. 3 kills. Going to get that team wipe, which now allows Breakaway to capture the point with ease, and maybe this gives the momentum to point B. Probably not, though.
Ben, did you see any shields on HEIST in that fight? Because I heard Jungle Jazz use the sound barrier, but I didn't see any shields. I don't know if he got cancelled or what happened there, but I
was it in the middle of the Earth Shatter?
Maybe he got cancelled.
Because there's that half a second. I'd have to rewatch it.
Yeah, need a replay.
Yeah.
Anyway, pushing into point B is Breakaway, trying to use the momentum to their advantage. Might not work out though. Lots of ults for HEIST.
Trance is going to allow them onto the point. Earth Shatter should come out and does come out from Bust. This time it hits and 4 goes down first. Now the ultimates are in favor of HEIST. The Breakaway going to have to reset.
Bust has been super solid throughout this season, but again, in this match, I think he's really winning this main tank duel, particularly when it comes to the Reinhardts. I think it's a little bit even on the Winston, but definitely when it's Reinhardt versus Reinhardt, we're seeing Bust survive so much longer than 4 and getting a lot more value out of his Earth Shatters. He's having a great time right now for HEIST, and I think he's been one of the standouts this season for them.
Yeah, been playing really well, actually. Considering it's a Bust in Australia, very impressive. Normally they're awful. D-Field going to go down to Gusto. That was just not how they wanted to kick this one off. And just going to jump off the edge. Tried this one again. Look, to be fair, they did okay on the first point. Took them a while, but they won the fight they needed to win, which gave them about 5 minutes pushing through. Now starting to lose time, however. And HEIST, if they can manage this ultimate rotation a little bit better, they should be able to buy at least another few minutes, if not a full hold.
It's definitely setting up to look like a full hold right now for HEIST. Every single attempt that Breakaway have had, they haven't really looked like they've been able to push through, or even close to being able to push through. And HEIST doing a good job of rotating ultimates.
Graviton Surge going to come out here from HEIST. They're going to follow it through with a charge. Lots of damage. Everyone caught up. Free rain, free fire, and free, I think, Reinhardt hammer swings coming through in that scenario.
Dalsu's just a man on a mission right now. Look at this. He's going for picks. Pushing so far ahead of his team. He does have the backup of Dewboy and Jungle Jazz, but the tanks have already gotten the hell out of there. Regardless, though, not able to find anything. Breakaway, again, suffer a loss at the hands of a grab self-destruct combo. Shadows back up for Bus. Breakaway, again, rotating through their ults, starting to build them up. Looking close to all 6, actually, for Breakaway. Maybe not this fight, but the next. If Slitzel doesn't use the grab this time. This is an interesting roundabout's way for Breakaway to get onto the point.
Well, at least they're going to get there without losing anyone.
Not if they get hit by a big shatter from Bus. They're all grouped up.
It's possible, that's for sure. We'll see what 4 can do. Looking to throw a grab into the middle of it ever so shortly. That one's going to find 4, but the Trance should keep them alive as I say that. Bus does pick up his counterpart, and without the shield, it's going to be tough now for Breakaway to do anything here. Slitzel J quite low, Quad J demeched as well. That's going to be the end of that fight. Down to 2 minutes, they're losing time.
Again, just really nice stuff from HEIST. Bus does manage to get a decent shatter across, hits 4 with it, and despite the transcendence from Aki, HEIST are able to burst him down with the Discord Orb going onto him. Pretty expensive fight for HEIST compared to Breakaway, though. This time, still charging up the self-destruct combo for HEIST, though it looks like it's going to be up before the fight does start, which is, I guess, not a worry now for HEIST anymore then. Just seems like Breakaway never have enough of an advantage to actually push on
for the
through.
high ground. This could be bad as well with the self-destruct. You can kind of get caught in there.
They can't grab now because Guzdo has no shift.
Yeah, they're going to jump on down. There's the Graviton Surge and the self-destruct coming out from both sides. Anyone going to get picked up by this? The answer is no. But now they're getting forced back out. They're running away. Slitzel J is low. Almost goes down. Jervis looking not so strong either. I'm not even sure what happened to Slitzel J. Did he jump off? I'm not.
No, I think he killed himself with a right click.
That'll do it.
Again, though, no Earth Shatter out from 4 in that fight. He was getting bullied quite a lot by Bus, to be fair. Just seems like HEIST, even if they don't really get too much value out of their ultimates, Breakaway aren't able to find that break point that they can push through with.
Well, this is the fight, right? This is essentially their last chance. They've got the ultimate advantage. They just need to deal, I suppose, with both Dalsu and Bus.
Yeah.
Look, that's probably easier said than done.
There's no support ultimates for Breakaway, though, so they really need to find a pick early on to stem the tide of damage.
Going to roll out right onto the point. This is their last hope. And, well, no Graviton Surge. That's not great. No Earth Shatter. That's even less great. And now Dalsu with the Trance going to keep everyone alive. Bus has his Earth Shatter. He's not going to miss. Boys and girls, I hope you topped up your Opa cards because we're going for a bus ride. Very strong work from him.
Yeah,
love it.
He's on fire. Absolutely. So too is the rest of HEIST. Nice fire strike as well onto Aki, just for the cherry on the cake. Quache won't even be able to touch the point to secure overtime. Not that it would have mattered. Very, very solid defense on point B. Yeah, 4, he didn't entirely miss the shatter. He did manage to hit the Brigitte with it, but aside from that, like, A, the Brigitte didn't go down. B, you're not getting too much value out of the shatter. So, unfortunately for Breakaway, they just haven't had enough to push through point B. Every single time they tried to push in there, it was sort of like a rinse and recycle it for HEIST. They used 1 or 2 ults, and then while those were charging, there was another couple of ults available. And every single time for HEIST, it was the ults that they needed. They had support ults when they needed. They had the grab combo when they needed. They had the Earth Shatter when they needed. And Breakaway just weren't able to use their ultimates at the right times, or they weren't able to get value out of their ultimates. And that's what you need to push through on a point B like Hanamura. You need to have a good, clean team wipe, and it just seemed out of the realms of possibility that Breakaway were going to be able to get that. I guess
let's be real here. Breakaway was struggling on the first point, a point where they have the advantage. They've got the spawn advantage. It's quicker to get there. And it took until they had the ultimate advantage for them to get across the line. So once you flip that around, and it takes them longer to get there, and the spawn's now on the defensive side, it was almost inevitable, I suppose. But they could have tried something else. I can't help but feel that they just kept using the same comp over and over again. Just sure, they changed where they went, but they didn't really change how they played it.
Well, they have changed up the comp this time on the defense. It's
Oh,
more
yeah.
of a poke-based composition, pick-based composition with D-Field looking for headshots.
I'm ready for this to work, Jordan.
ZeNox with the Riptire charge. That's what he is really here for. See if he hits anyone with this trap.
Something a little bit different. We're back to 1999.
Storm Arrow's doing a fair bit of damage there from D-Field, but really it's ZeNox at the moment that's building his ult a little bit quicker.
Here he is.
Getting a lot of damage done and now looking to set that trap up for the Arista. What you can do with Arista is hold on to the trap.
Oh, Winston going to try and take the high ground. That's Bas pushing through. Gusto quite low, about to get D-Mech. There you go, Dowsu staying alive for now, but D-Field going to find Dubai as well. And not a bad hold, to be honest, to start things off for Breakaway. It could have maybe been stronger, but they're going to lose 1/3 of a tick, and now they're starting to lose players. It looked good for now, but they didn't have the support to push through.
Well,
they had no
ticks.
tanks.
ZeNox needs to get this Riptire up and needs it quickly. He needs to throw it out, but he's not in a position to be able to do so. He's going to go down with the Riptire up by contesting the point. And that is going to be that. Really, the only win condition there for Breakaway Esports was that the Riptire was going to be a big one and get a few kills, but even then it was not a sure thing.
They were looking so good, but they had no tanks left.
Yep.
There's very little you can do in that scenario. I guess that's... I don't know why people don't play 4 tanks, Jordan. That seems like a much better idea.
Yeah, who knows? D-Field's going to swap off. He's just thrown the Dragon Strike out for the fun of it. But HEIST, look at how much time they have. Just going to go charging straight in.
Yeah.
Dive onto the Zenyatta.
Looking for a big Riptire. Going to try and hit the Winston. Is successful. The Bus going to be stopped in his tracks.
Should be reset time for HEIST here. They've lost Bus. There's no reason to stick around. That's fair enough. Good stuff from HEIST. It will result in the swap off from ZeNox. Good stuff from Breakaway, to be fair, as well, as it nets them 1 free fight win. About a minute off the clock for HEIST. So chipping away at that time bank of HEIST. That's what you need to be doing right now for Breakaway. Take it a minute at a time. Take it a fight at a time. This one going to be more difficult, though, as HEIST have some ultimates ready for themselves.
Here we go again. Bus into the high ground. That Primal Rage is available. Jarvis looking low. The Ana almost going to get found out there. When supports have to heal the supports, that's maybe not ideal, but Dowsu's down. We could see this potentially still going in the way of HEIST, but not anymore. 4 finds Bas. And Gusto going to jump off the edge with the rest of the team.
Great stuff from Jarvis. He knew that he was going to go down, or suspected at least that he was going to go down. Fires off the nano boost. Actually, in the end, survives quite long. And Bas has to waste a fair bit of time trying to deal with the Ana there. Which meant the rest of the team for HEIST was getting bullied. But for HEIST, not an entirely terrible situation still. They try a different avenue of attack. This time having swapped over to the Reinhardt, they are going to take their fight in a more enclosed space, taking the high ground toward the right side of the map.
They only need 1/3. If they throw up a grab, they could catch these guys off guard as well. So if half the team's not fighting on the point, it's going to be very difficult for Breakaway to deal with this. Already D-Field's down.
Early
Decent Earth Shatter. Double self-destruct comes through. It's a 1-for-1, but maybe HEIST going to find the advantage here. 4 goes down. This could be the end of the story. This could be Hanamura.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that's going to be the case. D-Field the only one left on the point. That is going to be the cap for HEIST. That is going to be 2-0 for HEIST as well after Hanamura, which secures them the series at a bare minimum. As soon as you saw that Transcendence out from Aki in the final fight, I was like, oh dear, this fight is over, because he throws the Trans out before the grab has been
very
used
early
by HEIST. Yeah, he keeps his team alive, but that means that there's nothing to keep them alive through the grab. Once the grab goes down, Transcendence is fading. So much damage being done then by HEIST, and Bus gets a good charge. 4 misses his charge. He's in the middle of an entire enemy team, and it was a snowball from there in the favor of HEIST.
I still can't help but feel that Breakaway's actually playing. They're doing okay.
They're doing
I feel
okay,
like they're doing themselves maybe justice here. We said they probably weren't going to win, and obviously they can't now, but in the same vein, some of these maps have been closed. You look at the scores at the end of the day, you go, oh, that was pretty one-sided for HEIST, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I expected this to be a little bit less close, perhaps.
They're not looking terrible, that's, I think, fair to say, but they're not really showing the individual plays that HEIST are. They're not showing the coordination that HEIST are. I think in general, it's just HEIST is operating at a different level to what Breakaway is, and Breakaway's coasting along quite nicely. They're displaying reasonable fundamentals. They're doing the right things, but HEIST is doing the right things and they're making plays. And that's the difference between the two teams right now. We've seen really fantastic stuff out from Bust so far today. Gusto's been hitting great self-destructs, been hitting good eats. Locust is hitting great grabs. I mean, Jungle Jazz has had some very good sound barriers, that kind of thing. And we're not really seeing that so much out from Breakaway. I mean, you think about how many times we've seen a big self-destruct combo out from Breakaway, or we've seen a big Earth Shatter out from Breakaway, or a big Transcendence, etc., etc. There's really only a few very slim pickings when it comes to Breakaway, but for HEIST, there seems to be a multitude of different times where they have made those big individual plays. They've used their ultimates at the perfect time.
A lot of potential Macca's plays of the game is what you're saying, Jordan.
Definitely.
Yeah. At least
I want those big Macs.
Yeah. Or a cheeseburger or whatever it might be. Well, one map remains here. What do you think we're going to see? Route 66 has been Route 66. I feel like it's a broken record now.
I think Breakaway actually do tend to pick Dorado a little bit more than Route 66, so we might be out for a little bit more of
I can see it's on your sheet,
variety.
Jordan. I can see it's on your sheet. I'm ready for it to be the map.
Well, they played it 3 times as opposed to the one of Route 66, so there we go. It's going to be Dorado, the choice by Breakaway, which is nothing new, really.
No.
A bit of a spanner in the works, though, for HEIST. They haven't played much Dorado this season. They haven't won on Dorado this season at all. So this may be a little bit more of a question mark for them. Perhaps a little bit less match practice for HEIST. And it'd be nice for Breakaway to at least come back into the series, make it a 2-1. Not that it is going to make too much of a difference on the standings, but for Breakaway, you know, it's all about, I think, improving season to season, and they've definitely been able to do that here into Season 3. We'll see them in playoffs, of course. But every single map is going to be good practice heading into those all-important playoffs. And not only is it going to dictate who gets through to finals, but also part of it is to do with getting into next season of Contenders as well. So lots to play for.
Want to be there in 2019, Jordan. Don't want to miss out. Season 1 next year. Breakaway once again starting off on attack. HEIST starting off on defense, but it's Breakaway this time. They're going to have themselves a Reinhardt to initiate the first fight, whilst HEIST is going to be Bust here on the Winston. So a little bit of a change between the two, what we've used to seeing.
Yeah. Does give a lot more high ground control to Breakaway. Look at Dalsu putting out so much damage right now. He's up to 55% of the ultimate. Doesn't seem like he's missing with any of these left clicks either. Hodjay putting in some work though, as he will dispatch of a couple. Still enough control here for HEIST to contest though. And if Gusto does get demeked, or Hodjay rather gets demeked there, still a winnable fight for HEIST. Transcendence is here. Won't be invested in to keep the mech alive, and HEIST will decide to let that one slip as Bust swaps over to the Reinhardt. Wants to match for Reinhardt
Yeah, wasn't successful. But Breakaway, on the other hand, they're going to push through, get a lot of forward ground here, heading towards the first objective. The payload continues. Going to be potentially one fight coming out from HEIST to try and stop this one in its tracks, and they at least have Dalsu with the Transcendence to get them through the fight. But as do Breakaway, Aki pops his as well. Self-destruct comes through, won't find anyone. Looking for that first kill. It could be Bust. The shield comes through. Earth Shatter out from Breakaway. Not sure how many that hit, but it must have been a few because the kills are going in the favor of Breakaway right now. Well, Locust did use the grab. It was not necessarily and did not have any sort of real impact.
Yeah, looking a lot better for Breakaway right now. It seems to be that the escort maps are a little bit more achievable for Breakaway, I suppose, in that sense, because when we saw them on Numbani, it was the escort phase of the map where they looked particularly good on. And again, they're seeming to be fairly okay here on Dorado thus far, but HEIST haven't really had a proper fight. That last one, they were at quite a bit of a deficit. The momentum definitely going the way of Breakaway after the initial fight.
Yeah, Breakaway seem to love the payload, don't they? Looking for a big self-destruct, needs to get through the sound barrier though, not going to happen. Bust's going to go down, even though he had all that HP. Duboy goes down as well. Another fight win here for Breakaway, and well, when you're on the attack, when you've got the payload, these are the wins that will get you quite a lot of space, get you quite a lot of ground. The payload continues. Breakaway all on fire here, looking very strong.
Well, that fight not as concerning for HEIST as the previous two. They knew that they had an ultimate disadvantage. They really just went into that one to build a few up. Jungle Jazz the only one to throw anything in there, which was the sound barrier. So this is where HEIST are going to look to make their real committed hold around this corner and into this point B capture. Breakaway going to have to invest quite a lot to punch through them this time.
Rally on both sides, armor for everyone. We'll see who comes out with an ultimate advantage after this fight.
Nice boot, great combo.
There's the Earth Shatter, that's a good one. Self-destruct coming through, looking to find 4, at least finds the shield. Trans for Breakaway, trans for Heist. Everyone playing all the things at the same time. It's been a 1-for-1 trade, but we'll see whether you'd rather lose your Lucio or your Brigitte. Seems to me that Breakaway have the favor here. They're going to capture the second objective, moving onto objective C now, looking very strong. 4.5 minutes on the clock. That is a ton of time.
Yeah, Breakaway making record time at the moment. That was a very, very nice combo between Jervis and 4, who, by the way, has built another Earthshatter up as a result of that last fight. Jervis wrapping around the side on the Lucio, getting the boop onto Bust, forces him away, the shield away from his team, and no one to protect them from 4's Earthshatter. So nicely done from Breakaway Esports in the last fight. Quad J with a self-destruct here, waiting for the grab from Slitor J.
This could be dangerous for Breakaway. They're getting caught out in the corner, but it's Dowsu and Dubois both finding picks. This is going to stop Breakaway in their tracks, but this is a Breakaway that's about to have 6 ultimates.
Momentum has been slowed, that's for sure, but for how long? HEIST overcommitted a little bit here. Looks like they have not. Will decide to back up. It was a nice Earth shout out for Bust to really open that fight up for HEIST that then resulted in the fight win. But now for Breakaway Esports, they're going to come back in onto that point with a revenge in their hearts. They've got those ultimates, like you said, Ben.
Yeah.
Still looking for the grab self-destruct combo, even an Earth Shatter here. Anything to open things up for Breakaway.
They need to win at least 2 fights. And that's going to be a good start. It's a trade, though, 1-for-1. That should be in the advantage then of HEIST. They've got the quicker respawns.
Locus's grab must have been eaten there, I think. Don't see it anywhere on the field.
But they're winning this fight right now without having to commit too much at all. Only the sound barrier and the rally. Now they have a ton in their back pocket to get this through.
How Breakaway
particularly
won
with
that.
this Graviton Surge, Jordan. This could hold them right off the payload.
Yeah, literally could. I mean, the HEIST is definitely looking like a shadow of their former selves. What we saw in Hanamura certainly has gone. HEIST not even able to win a fight here. Breakaway doing such a phenomenal job. Where's the grab going to come
in from behind. You're not going to eat that one. Lots of damage to follow it up. The charge comes through.
Damn.
Finds the Reinhardt. The rest of the kills will follow in suite. Look, Bust does what he can, but it will not be enough. The payload should get moving once again. The Brigade is going to fall. We'll see how these respawns come out here from HEIST.
I think HEIST is going to have one more fight. They have got a sound barrier.
Jungle Jazz, yeah, that's it.
Need to get the sound barrier off early. Locust will survive as a result. The rest of the players come trickling on in, but Locust does go down early on in the piece.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough now for HEIST to do something here. At least, again, they have those spawns, but they're going down very, very quickly. Breakaway are not dying. It's just Quad J is going to get de-mech'd, but very quickly could get back in here. Easy.
Wow, what a time. That just seemed like one of those rounds where Breakaway could never fully reset, never really get themselves in a position to have a proper fight. They literally only won a single fight that entire round, and that was just after point B was capped up, and straight away the response there from Breakaway.
Yeah.
I don't know, HEIST just completely disappearing on the map, and 2 minutes and 7. That is a very formidable time here on Dorado for Breakaway.
We talk about momentum a lot, and it really does feel like HEIST lost momentum at the beginning and were never able to bring it back.
Yep, hasn't happened a lot in Overwatch Contenders that we've seen a match go like that. You know, typically we've seen, okay, you lose the momentum, you lose the first phase of the map, or the first and second phase of the map, but you inevitably do stall things up a little bit. But that never really seemed like it happened at all for HEIST. They just continued to get rolled over every single fight, and most of the fights were fairly cheap affairs for Breakaway as well, which again led them to have a better fight in the next and the next and the next. So HEIST gonna need to do something special to beat that time. And I don't know that it's going to be Dowsu on Genji and Dubois on Pharah to do it.
Do it.
With a solo heals.
I'm so ready. Nah, this is going to be great. What's the worst that happens?
I mean, the worst that happens is you lose the map, and really, at the end of the day, for HEIST, that doesn't matter. They've secured themselves in 3rd place with the series victory anyway.
Do you reckon you could play the Futurama theme song on that?
I have no idea.
I feel like it's kind of, they sound quite similar. You know what I mean? It's in the same range.
I was never much of a Futurama fan, to be honest, man.
Explains a lot. Anyway, let's go. HEIST pushing out on attack. Let's see if they can get this payload moving. They got a Reinhardt, but as does Breakaway on defense. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a Pharah, and it's not going to be a Genji.
4 taking a fair bit of damage there. D-Field as well, overcommitting with that shield bash. Doesn't get the connection onto Bus. Will not be punished for it. Backing away now as Breakaway. Doing a bit of a better job than HEIST did of at least surviving. They're not stalling the cart too much at this point. No,
they've actually pushed quite a long way forward. HEIST doing not too poorly here at all, to be fair, when it was Reinhardt versus Reinhardt earlier on in this match. HEIST were coming out on top. So why would I expect this should be any different? Halo going to continue. Breakaway need to try and contest at some point. They'll make this the point they choose, but it doesn't necessarily seem to be going their way for now. Sound Barrier going to come out for the defensive side, as with the rally. Dowsu pops trance. Bus has an Earth Shatter, throws it down, and they should be able to clean these guys up just as the trance subsides. No, maybe just a little bit early. Graviton Surge for the defensive side. Quad J throws out a self-destruct. They do a bit of damage. They win the fight. They turn it around. HEIST now going to have to flee and regroup, and seemed like a reasonable start for the attacking side, but Breakaway do manage to stem the tide.
Oh, it's all down to the timing there for HEIST. Bus just using the Earth Shatter a little bit too early. Aki, his Transcendence faded just as everyone started getting back up off the floor from the Earth Shatter, and that's really perfectly timed, and maybe a bit lucky from Aki, a bit unlucky from Bus. Bit mistimed from Bus regardless. Breakaway do all survive through the Earth Shatter, then the responding Graviton Surge is enough for Breakaway to clean things up. There is no support ultimate to keep HEIST alive in that case. Now they're going to have another attempt. This time pushing up back through the side.
Yeah, going to try and take control of the high ground, but it's 4 who's got the Earth Shatter. Self-destruct comes through. Not bad at all. Finds both 4 and Jervis. You'd like to think that surely, as a Reinhardt, you won't get caught out by that, but perhaps just a little bit slow on the turnaround. We'll have to go back and watch that one to see exactly how it played out. But this gives the advantage now to HEIST. The payload will get moving once again. The fight is taking a while. 4's going to get back into the action. They're going to have another fight because it's taken so long for HEIST to clean up.
Just got to die on the point. That's what people mean when they say die on the point. Die on the point. It's just so that you allow your teammates to respawn, allow them to get into position a little bit easier. It does mean that Quad J is going to be a bit late to the fight, but he's on D.Va, so he can just shift forward, get there fairly quickly anyway. There's an Earth Shatter here for 4, so if he's able to hit a good one, that may yet result in a fight win for Breakaway, and at this point might even result in a map win. Yeah,
they're actually eating up a ton of time. This is not going how HEIST would have envisaged. Breakaway in prime position to at least pick up a map, but they would be looking for an epic Earth Shatter coming out from 4. And overall, Bus has been the better of the Reinhardts in these 2 matches. Graviton Surge for the attacking side, throws out an Earth Shatter. I don't think he catches what he wants to. That self-destruct doesn't do that much either. Sound Barrier coming out for the attacking side now. Bus trying to push through. This maybe will be enough for HEIST to find something, but we're looking for the first pick. Who's the first tank to go down? Who's the first support to be picked up?
Well, 4 getting very low, but healed up fairly quickly. The rally helping out here as well for Breakaway Esports. Self-destruct coming in now from Gusto. Gets Slipsaw J. It's only 1 kill, but you're right, it is a big kill. Should be enough now for HEIST to really release the waterfall right on top of Breakaway Esports, and that is going to be the fight 1 for HEIST. As they cap the first point, they'll progress on forward through Dorado.
Even though it was an averagely placed self-destruct, the timing was great, right? Because you could see that Breakaway were kind of scattered. There was no way for them to deal with it.
Not too bad, though, from Breakaway, being able to hold on for that long.
Yeah, that's actually a really good result.
HEIST didn't quite manage to do as well. So right now, the guys on HEIST have got a far, far lower time bank than what Breakaway did. It's going to be tough for them to actually finish the map off with a good time bank. Maybe even to finish the map at all.
Double grab? No, just the one from Locust, but HEIST will follow up with the damage. That'll win them this particular fight. Quad J going to get cleaned up very quickly, which is probably exactly what he wanted to see in that scenario.
Again, Breakaway know that they don't need to win the fight there, so they go straight into it. They don't use any ultimates. They use they force the grab out from Locust. That's 1 ult down for HEIST. Also allows them time to build their own, and once they get to point B, this is where we're going to start seeing Breakaway Esports really invest a few ultimates, trying to take control of the high ground for now, and once they do that, it makes life easier for Slipsaw J to get a good grab off.
Looking to try and stall this one out, maybe stop it before it gets to this second objective. Throws the grab straight into the side of the vehicle, but it's HEIST finding kills. 1 to Locust, 1 to Gusto. Well,
looks like we need some more support ultimates for the PCs, Ben.
nah, it's good. It's safe, mate. We're protected. Didn't you see?
Get the sound barrier down. All right, well, that was nice from HEIST. I think it must have been the fact that Bus hit 1 or 2 players with the Earth Shatter, and then it was followed up by Gusto's self-destruct. I didn't really see what was going on because the camera was facing away from there, but I can only imagine that's where the self-destruct kill did come from.
Look at this momentum that HEIST is now building.
Yeah, but look at the time bank.
Yeah, the time bank is definitely not in their favor. Though, like in any other matchup, in any other time you're on Dorado, you've got 2 minutes, you've got some ultimates, you'd be going, yeah, this ain't so bad. But Breakaway just did so well. That's the problem. Bus taking a lot of damage, going to be forced to drop back, and or maybe even a defensive grab comes through. He charges back on to the Reinhardt, gets caught out, gets forced back. They do find Quad J4 now. That may not be enough. The Earth Shatter comes through. That's a big Earth Shatter. Bus caught out, still staying alive. Very strong heals, and 4 charges right into the side of the payload. That is not the play that he needed to make.
There does not seem to be a world in which HEIST is not going to finish off this map now, looking at the advantages that they do have. The fact that 4 did invest the Earth Shatter in that last fight means that it's going to be quite a long time before he gets his back. Really going to rely on Slizor J and Quad J to actually build their ults really quickly here for Breakaway if they do want to hold on.
Self-destruct from Gusto, won't find anyone, just feeds the charge. Aki with the trance. Breakaway, not a bad position, looking for a pick, but now a counter trance from HEIST a little bit later. That's going to keep them alive for longer. 4 goes down. Slizor J going to get picked up. Self-destruct in the middle, finds Locust. That's probably not enough. However, deep build getting forced down as well. Someone going to have to jump into the payload, but it looks like between that big Earth Shatter and the damage coming out from HEIST, they should be able to clean these guys up, and it's going to be up to Slizor J and 4 to hold the fort.
I don't know, it's going to take a little while actually, because 4 and Quad J have managed to get back, or rather 4 and Slizor J have managed to get back. Quad J still alive. Jervis will stagger onto the point. Now we've got a Moira here for Aki as well. And for Breakaway Esports, this is... Okay, that was a little bit bad. What they were trying to do, again, is what I was talking about yesterday, where you just stagger one player onto the point after another, waste that time, but the ship comes out a little bit too late from Aki on Moira, and he doesn't actually touch the point in time.
That's still okay.
Good time advantage right now for Breakaway.
2.5 up against 1 minute, and to be fair, HEIST really struggled on the first phase. So if we see a repeat, this is definitely going in Breakaway's favor. However, the very nature of an escort map is when you're on the payload, then you're on the payload, aren't you?
Yep,
so
overtime pushes.
Yeah. Anything is possible. But this could be Breakaway's opportunity to find themselves a map win. And maybe just rattle HEIST a little bit as well. They're probably expected to come out of this one with a clean win. A 2-1 is not a clean victory.
No, but neither is a 3-1 last week against Kanga or some of the other results that HEIST have had so far this season. That was what I was talking about earlier, where I said they could have had a chance actually to make it into second or first if they would have had cleaner wins over the teams that they were expected to beat. But every single match that we've seen HEIST play, they really haven't been able to get that 4-0 on the board that we expected that they should be able to get. So I think that if HEIST is going to be a team next season, if they're going to stick together, that's something that they need to look at. They need to be able to have those cleaner victories, because they're doing themselves a little bit of a disservice if they're not getting them. Yeah,
exactly. You can't afford to do that. Certainly not against the easier opponents, because they'll really struggle against the tough ones. But this is the start that HEIST needed. They're going to find the first pick and, well, the third pick, but 2 for 1. That's not so bad. Quad J's going to be removed as well, and HEIST getting some momentum here, going to get this payload through, but it's all going to be overtime at best heading into the second phase.
Yeah, much better from HEIST this time. A lot more aggression being shown. They're on the front foot as opposed to playing a bit more reactively. They're able to put the damage down onto 4, really put him under pressure, denying that charge as well. And it was a trade of the Reinhardts, but not before the first pick had gone the way of HEIST. So fair enough, and even then, 1-for-1 trades going to favour HEIST. Now, if I'm
Breakaway, I don't think, I was going to say, maybe you don't push this, but they're going to give it a burl and try and find it just before the first point. We're into overtime now, so this is the fight that you need to win. Didn't really matter about the previous ones, and yes, as you said, Locust's going to go down. That's a big play if they can keep everyone else alive. 4 is so low. Dowsu actually the one to find the kill. HEIST finding another. That should get this payload going.
That's such a shame for Breakaway. They were so close. Look at that. Slitzer J's at 90. D-Feels at 85%. Jervis and Aki did come up on their ults, but just too late in the fight to make a difference.
Yep.
This next fight should definitely be going the way of Breakaway, though, because HEIST have really thrown a lot in there. They've changed up as well. Locust is onto the Tracer. Not really much to work with for HEIST, but certainly everything for Breakaway. And this is where you just want to invest all of your ultimates, stop the payload as early as possible, make the job as easy as it is, or it can be for you.
Well, they've got the ultimate charge here, right?
2.5 minutes, plenty of time to get to this point if Breakaway want to fight right now.
Yeah, this is the fight that Breakaway should be able to win, and if they don't, they're going to be in a very difficult position. Self-destruct comes in, but a sound barrier, going to have to get rid of the shield, not going to be successful. 2 Earthshatters come through, Trance to the defensive side. 4 is knocked back, but as Basu goes down first, this is the fight that Breakaway surely wins. They've still got a sound barrier. Jervis pops that one now. The payload will be stopped at 23 meters.
Yeah, I mean, even though you can't see much value coming out of the self-destruct combo or the Earthshatter there from 4, the support ultimates right now in Overwatch are so strong. Transcendence and sound barrier, having that and then not, you know, to be able to stagger them as well. Like you use the Transcendence, wait your 10 seconds or whatever it is, and then wait, throw out the sound barrier. That's almost like, it feels like almost 20 seconds of invulnerability for whichever team actually has that double support ultimate available to them. And that's exactly what it was for Breakaway, just the war of attrition favoring them in that case. And HEIST, it's a defendable position, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. But look, half the time, Jordan, I feel like the offensive ultimates are used just to bait out the defensive ultimates. You know what I mean? If you've got 2, you think maybe they've only got 1, you bait out their 1, you use your first one. As soon as it's down, you pop your second and you win the fight.
Yeah. What is going on here for HEIST? They're being a bit sneaky by the looks of things. Bus.
What are we going to see?
He's coasting along in neutral, not making any noise.
I'm ready for a Bastion, to be honest. I know I'm not going to see a Bastion, but I'm ready for a Bastion. I'm not getting baited. I just want it. It's different.
How about Zenyatta? Do you like Zenyatta?
Not as much as Bastion. Well, I like Zenyatta on my team. I like Bastion in Contenders.
True.
Yeah.
If HEIST can win a couple of fights here, it's going to be their map, but not an easy task.
It's not. 4. Taking a bit of damage, going to get charged through. Bust is quite low as well. We'll see who's picked up first. Bust almost goes down. He's the first one out. This is a great start now for Breakaway. They're going to be looking to follow this up with another Jungle Jazz. Do boys, see you later. The payload now will get going. And, well, considering they started with 2 and a bit minutes, this is great timing here for Breakaway.
That definitely swings the map potential right back in the favor of Breakaway. Now they have a huge ultimate advantage. Going to be able to get a lot of payload push. There will be the opportunity for one more contest here from HEIST. A lot of it is going to rest upon the shoulders of Locust, who is being able to charge up that grab very quickly. If he can get it before either of the Breakaway supports get their ultimates, it might result in a wipe in the favor of HEIST.
Yeah, looking for a good fight here. HEIST, but as Breakaway, as we said, who have that ultimate advantage for now. We'll see what 4 can do with his Earthshatter.
But Trance is there for Aki as well.
Graviton Surge comes through on top of the payload. They need to follow it up with damage, and, well, they'll do that as well. So HEIST going to be able to stem the time for just a moment. Breakaway going to fall back.
Thought that Aki's Transcendence would be able to keep them alive, but D-Field did get picked off by his counterpart, Duboy. Now this makes it actually a little bit more favorable for HEIST. It's a bit of a backwards and forwards game. As we now have almost 2 support ults for HEIST, where really we're only going to see 1 out for Breakaway Esports in the next fight. Self-destruct combo for Breakaway is going to be quite necessary to hit here. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to chunk through all of that extra HP that HEIST are going to get off the ults. That's a big stun.
It is a big stun into a big Earthshatter coming out from HEIST.
Reset time.
This fight. Eating up a lot of time, Jordan, and they need to eat up a ton. Quad J, he finds 2. The question is, do Breakaway have what it takes now to push through and win this fight? If they do, they should be able to get the first point.
It's a huge pick because it's Jungle Jazz that goes down there as well. He had sound barrier. I don't know that it's going to be enough still for Breakaway Esports to come back into it, because the benefit is for Bust, at least he has that Lucio to taxi him back, and the fight still is not going the way of Breakaway Esports. An Earthshatter in there from 4. massive stuff from HEIST to block it. And Duboy charging on forward, getting that shield bash in, trying to bully 4 away from the point. 7 seconds on. Breakaway need to ensure they get the touch. Bus goes down again.
Yeah. Graviton Surge coming out as well. This should now be a fight win for Breakaway. We're into overtime. No one can really or would want to contest
If someone gets backspawn, that's going to be disastrous for HEIST.
Yeah.
Looks like Locust will get just up in time. Oof, very close indeed. So they will be able to mount a defense. But if Locust would have died at, a second later, he would have gotten spawned all the way back at the end of the map.
That would have been very much less than ideal. We're looking at 23 meters at Stakers. To be fair, not that much.
Dalsu, Transcendence is going to be so important for HEIST. Same for Breakaway with Akis, but they at least have 2 ults.
This is our last fight. Trans straight away coming up from Dalsu. A very aggressive one, particularly. Yes, but it's Breakaway. They've got another support ultimate available as well. That's going to be Jervis coming through. It's going to make it very tough now for HEIST to win this one. Breakaway quite strong, but the Graviton Surge is going to come out. Here's a big self-destruct. There's 2. Oh, it's HEIST who wins.
Yeah, Breakaway Esports, they use all of those support ultimates, but they don't get the advantages off them, and HEIST will take that 3rd map there as well for themselves. So 3-0 today for HEIST. Almost clean enough to get the 4-0, but not today, not this time. And for Breakaway, unfortunate not to be able to finish that map off. I really thought it probably should have gone their way, but those ults coming up at the perfect time again for HEIST on the defense. Good timing for the Graviton self-destruct combo as well, and Dalsu with an aggressive trans forward, forcing out the support ults early on in the fight. Really good stuff.
It looked like the wrong call, but then it wasn't.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't know if this is the right play, but it turned out perfectly. To be fair, I want to say still congrats to Breakaway, making top 4.
Yeah, again.
And yeah, that's what you want to, at least getting that consistency of making playoffs. And look, it probably wouldn't have been any different as a result of what occurred today, but they did play well up against quite a strong team.
Yeah, definitely. For Breakaway, there was a few questions last season. Obviously, they got through to playoffs, but one of the matches that they did win was technically a forfeit win over Dignity, who was their closest counterpart last season. And there was theories that had that match actually occurred, had that been played out, maybe Dignity would have won it and been the team into playoffs. But I think this really puts to bed the fact that now we can definitely consider Breakaway as a playoffs team, a top 8 team within the region.
Which is important for 2019.
Yeah, exactly. And so looking at freshman class and looking at Kanga, they haven't done enough this season to really warrant any considerations that they should have been into playoffs over a team like Breakaway. I think Breakaway definitely have shown that consistency where Kanga and freshman class have been missing it, and Breakaway have shown a tendency to at least have some decent maps against some of the better teams, which is, again, a tick in their book, in my book at least. So look, a good win for HEIST, but also some takeaways for Breakaway. Both teams through to playoffs. End of the day, everyone's happy.
Yeah, end of the day, that's exactly right. Everyone should be feeling pretty good. And I feel like we saw some moments of greatness there from Breakaway. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't pull it through on a map that, like Dorado, probably should have won. However, HEIST obviously the stronger team in this particular matchup, which is why they come through with the victory. And of course, have that highest seed in the top 4 here for Group B. But look, I don't necessarily think that the scoreboard reflects how close some of that was.
I'll disagree with you. I think HEIST definitely was the better team today.
I'll disagree with you or disagree.
They probably even deserved to win Numbani, I almost felt like, but in the end, they didn't. So there you go, 3-0. They'll be happy with that. That's good enough.
They deserved to win Numbani. They would have won Numbani.
You're true. Like, you're not wrong, right? You're not wrong. If they could have won it, they should have.
Yeah.
But they didn't. I do think that they were the better team on Numbani.
Yes, that
so
I agree with.
That I think is where my argument is coming from. But end of the day, they weren't the better enough team, if that makes sense.
Well, the one thing we can agree on, Jordan, it's time for our Macca's play of the game. Our McDonald's Australia play of the game was HEIST up against Breakaway Esports. Let's take a look. We see a Graviton Surge waiting for a big diva play in the middle. I'm waiting for a huge explosion.
It's Quad J going to be going down here to Guzto, and everyone else really going down to Guzto. I saw that coming. As soon as you see that self-destruct go down and the position that 4 is in, not to mention that he's probably going to get charged out anyway, this is classic of HEIST. They got the play of the game, I think, in week 1 with a very, very similar play. You remember, on Route 66, Bus charging through the Reinhardt shield with Guzto dropping the self-destruct and Locust throwing out the grab. Very nice stuff again from them. So twice in a row, or not in a row, but twice the same.
Twice in a row.
Twice the same Macca's player of the game.
Last week, I guess if you roll it back around, is Ace is high or
like
Ace
the
is
Earth,
low,
right?
Yeah, okay.
Anyway. Very, very good stuff. Very solid, consistent throughout the season. I think teamwork is one thing that HEIST have shown to really have as one of their strengths throughout this season, and that is kind of it in essence.
Well, Jordan, that's 1 down and 2 to go. Coming up next, it's going to be Kanga up against freshman class, and we'll be back right after this very quick break.